I think you should eat healthy 80% of the time, not because you want a six-pack, but because your diet is a reflection of your self-respect. And in this video, I'm going to outline 3 reasons as to why your diet signifies your self-respect. And if you struggle with any of these 3 reasons, it's probably not because, oh, you're genetically gifted this way, or not gifted, but like you're genetically cursed this way, or because you have some sort of external issue that you're dealing with, but it's because it's directly correlated with your diet. And improving your diet will help all 3 of these pillars in ways that you couldn't even think of. First and foremost is your mental health. Your mental health is, unless there's some sort of clinically diagnosed thing that's not right with your brain, and you're like missing a couple neurons, or it's just like you have like chronic depression from some sort of missing neurons in your mind. Your mental health, the moment that you fix your diet, is going to skyrocket. I can't even tell you how much my anxiety, when I was younger, I stressed out and had so many issues with anxiety. And the moment, and now even to this day, the more and more I get more serious about my diet, more serious about, what I'm putting inside of my body, the timing of my meals, I can see how it affects the way that I think and overall my perception to reality. For starters, it's the biggest causation of people's mental health, and I'll give you a perfect example. And we're talking about diet in anything in food and liquid that you consume. Your diet is any sort of nutrition that you consume, and the perfect example that I want to use is with alcohol. I am not a chronic drinker of alcohol. I don't believe in alcohol consumption, especially on a regular day basis, especially if you're trying to optimize your health, longevity, and just overall feeling good. I do occasionally drink, once in a while, and once in a blue moon, from mostly peer pressure, but because it's like, okay, I'm with a group of people, we have these sort of plans, let's do something, some alcohol is involved, I'll take 3 to 5 drinks, if that, maximum. And then the next day, and actually the next consecutive days, now that I'm getting older, it's 1, 2, 3, maybe the 4th day I'll start feeling normal and better again. But I can consciously and awarenessly realize the state that my body is in. I'm so much more stressed out about things that I'm typically not stressed out about. I'm so much more anxious about what people are thinking about me. I'm analyzing and psychoanalyzing, oh, what did this person say when they said that about me? Or what is this person, or what are people gonna think when I post a video like this? And it's just, I'm so much more anxious than when I am completely sober. And typically I also notice it's not as bad with alcohol, but also when my diet is higher with sugar. I don't know why I just did a 360. That was so weird. When my diet is higher with sugar, I notice those same things, because at the end of the day, it's just a poison, and all the processed food in this society that we eat is also poison. It affects the way that you're okay, I don't know how this video is gonna sound with all these fucking cars driving by, so I think I'm gonna start going back home, because I thought it was gonna be a good idea to, take a walk and do this video, but now as I'm walking, all these fucking cars are making so much noise and ruckus that I don't think it's even gonna pan out and you guys are gonna be able to hear me correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. When I rewatch the video, I'll notice. But yeah, even when I notice myself eating like processed food, the way that my mind works and just overall the quality of like the basis for its health is so much worse, and I'm just overthinking, overstressed. Bastards, I'm trying to record a video here. And just not in the optimal state that I am when I'm eating healthy, training, knowing that whole foods are going into my body, and my mind is just so much more sharper, focused, and I don't let like negativity and like the things that like worry and stress me out and I overthink about get to me. So that, if you struggle with mental health, changing your diet to an 80% whole foods diet is going to make the biggest benefit in your life over any sort of therapy, any sort of like bullshit like that, and just other things that like, you know, are promoted so highly these days. Like what else? Don't even get me started on pills and drugs, because that shit is complete horseshit, and it's just, we can go down another rabbit hole if you want, but basically I'm just going to quickly outline my thinking of it. It's just another, like all these pills and drugs that are like here for your mental health, and like, okay, again, I'm not talking about the outliers that actually have like neurotic disorders, but just people that claim they're depressed and they're anxious and all this other stuff just because their life, diet, physical activity is just completely thrown out the window. They hop on all this medication, get into a deeper cycle, get into a deeper state of depression, and then are just hooked on all these drugs that completely ruin their life. But that's a little bit of a ramble that's completely off topic. The next thing that fixing your diet will do to an 80% whole foods diet, you know, because 20% of the time you still want to live life, you know, eat a bag of chips, have a cookie here and there, enjoy some cake at a wedding, because you're not going to be that guy who's like, sorry, I don't eat cake at a wedding because I'm like, you know, Mr. Perfect over here. Don't be that asshole. I was that cunt, you know, 3 years ago, and I didn't like the person who I was becoming. There was no reason to become that person. You know, it's just like an ego thing, thinking that like, oh, I'm better than everybody. No, you're not. Be a normal human being and enjoy some fucking ice cream. It's not gonna kill you. But your energy is the second best thing that improving your diet will do. Because what is energy? Energy is a form of how we feel. And how we feel all starts with, and how we perform, how we move, it depends on the energy that we put in. Because calories are what? Calories are a form of energy that, in fact, allow us to expend throughout the day, right? That's why when you're in a calorie deficit for a prolonged period of time, your energy is going to suffer. You're going to feel tired, you're going to feel lethargic, and all this other, you know, bullshit that's going to affect your day-to-day. See, I'm like, so my ADHD is going insane. Like, I don't even know which way to go that's gonna, let me just shut up and keep talking. So, the way that your energy is affected by the foods that you eat is so connected to the quality of foods that you eat. And when you eat a whole food diet 80% of the time, the quality of the food that you're inputting is going to be reciprocated by the quality of energy that your body is able to give back to you. Right? We're not talking about, you know, training. We're not talking about, you know, staying physically fit, because that's a whole nother topic. We're talking about directly the quality of food that you input will be the quality of energy that your body is able to give back to you. So if you're trying to, you know, stay sharp throughout the entirety of your day, you want the energy to have, excitement when you speak with people. You don't want to be like showing up to work half dead because, you're running on 5 or 6 hours of sleep and you just ate a fucking donut and some cereal for breakfast and wonder why you're crashing at 12 p.m. and people are like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? Right? You want to be that individual that has the energy to inspire. You want to be able to perform. But more importantly, you want to feel good about waking up every single day and attacking and experiencing whatever we have to experience and what God has given us to do for that day. When I was like eating such a shit diet, I'm telling you guys, all I had the energy to do was, I literally remember my routine, especially like most of my memories from when I was, kind of eating a trash diet was when I was in university. And literally the only thing that I had the energy to do was like wake up, play video games, chill with a girl, and absolutely do nothing. Like I'd be driving around, most of my time was spent sitting. Anytime it was like, let's do an activity, I was like, no, I just want to sit and watch TV. No, I just want to, just be a lazy cunt. That's basically it. Now, my energy is fucking through the roof from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, that every single waking moment, I just want to be doing something. I want to be either working, I either want to be talking with clients, I either want to be hanging out with family or friends, I want to go cycling, hiking, training, and any time that I have like free time, it's like, oh, okay, I'm chilling with like friends or family. It's never hanging out and just sitting on like the couch and doing fuck all. It's like always I want to be out and about, adventuring and experiencing this life that like God has given us, and taking in every single moment to like its full abilities. Of course there's times like, I want to chill and watch some TV, but like now my energy is so high that I just want to be out and about in this life. I'm making this video going on a fucking walk because I don't want to sit down at my desk and make this video, because I want to, just expend. So if you are lacking in energy and you feel like, you come back from work at like 4, 5, 6 p.m. and then all of a sudden you're just like, dude, I am so exhausted, I don't want to do anything. Really take a look at the quality of food that you're putting in on a week-to-week and day-to-day basis, because quality of food will be directly correlated with what your body is able to give back to you. And lastly, this is probably the least important aspect of it, but it's still important, because food dictates the way that we look. Whether it's, if the acne that you have on your face, whether if you're dealing with skin conditions like I was, whether you're, like fat. These are all correlated with diet, unless there is some external thing like you're allergic, you're suffering with a health condition that can't be fixed with your diet. But 95% of these things can be fixed with a diet, and I'll give you guys a story in a second as to how I fixed my skin condition. I had an extremely bad skin condition called eczema that I'll tell you guys about in a second. But the point is that people judge. It's the world that we live in. As shitty as it is, it's the reality that we live in, right? People say don't judge a book by its cover, but at first glance, everybody judges a fucking book by its cover, unless it was recommended to us. Same thing with attractiveness. People say, oh, don't judge people, judge their personality. But like, if you're a complete stranger, the first thing you see are somebody's looks or somebody's appearances. So eating your diet at 80% whole foods and making sure that what you're doing and inputting into your body is quality, it's going to allow you to change the way that you look. Even myself, I've seen how much I've morphed into a different individual by strictly focusing on whole foods. Not to mention the energy and mental health aspect, but now we're talking about it from like a physical standpoint. You are just going to look like a healthier individual when you eat healthy. You are going to look more attractive. You are going to look more healthy because you are lean. And when you are lean, people judge you in a different way because they subconsciously communicate to themselves, oh, okay, this guy takes care of himself, I can trust him. And when you take care of yourself, and when your trust has gone up because you take care of yourself and you trust yourself, other people can see that and immediately they trust you more. Think about this analogy real quickly for a second and it's going to completely change your fucking mind. Let's say you're jumping out of a burning apartment window. I don't know, your apartment's on fire and you need to, jump into a firefighter's hands to save you. Who are you going to trust more to catch you? The guy who is physically fit, lean, active, and, more attractive? Or the guy who's a slob who doesn't take care of himself and who basically looks like he's going to, drop you out of his hands? I'm not going to answer that for you. You have to answer that for yourself. It's the same thing with like professionals. You're an accountant. You're an accountant and, a client comes to you. Yes, your experience matters and your results and the things that people do for you and your referrals are extremely important. But let's say you don't know, you don't have any clients, you're just getting started and you're just building your clientele. You're going to tell me that I'm supposed to trust you with $1 million when you're 150 pounds overweight sitting at your computer? You're subconsciously communicating to me that you don't have the discipline to take care of yourself. How are you going to have the discipline to take care of my money? It just doesn't work that way. Of course, after years of like results and referrals, people are going to say, yo, this guy is great. Sure. But at first glance, instantly I'm getting communicated, okay, this guy doesn't really take care of himself. I don't know if I can trust him with my money. If there's two accountants and they have the exact same experience, the exact same win to ratio, or saving people on taxes, whatever the case may be, I'm personally going with the accountant who is more attractive, physically healthier looking, and more importantly, takes care of himself, because I know this guy has a higher standard and level of self-respect towards himself. So subconsciously that communicates to me that he's going to respect me more, my time, and my money. And it's as simple as that. Fixing 80% of your diet and switching it to whole foods is going to create a level of self-respect that communicates through all pillars. And you shouldn't do it only for, I want a six-pack, I want to look good, because going down that route is how I started, and it's how most people start. And it's great, it's a great motivator. It's going to get you off your ass. It's going to, make you want to stay committed and motivated. But once you experience the long-term benefits of getting lean, eating healthy, dialing in your nutrition, and actually wanting to sustain a healthy and fueling your body in a healthy way, it's going to, like I mentioned, it's going to take care of your mental health, your energy, and physically communicate subconsciously to other individuals. This guy takes care of himself. This guy is trustworthy. I can trust him more. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment for the algorithm. I love each and every one of you. Create more than you consume, serve others, love everyone. Till the next video, stay blessed, and I will see you again. Peace.